All right, Unit 5, Lesson 6, we're dividing rational numbers. So I can divide rational numbers. Rational numbers are all positive, negative, fractions, decimals, and whole numbers. So I don't want you to use a calculator on this. It is not going to help you in the long run. If you struggle with fractions, this is the time to practice fractions, to take the time with Khan Academy to work it through, because the longer that you use the calculator, it's just not going to help. All right, so I gave you a multiplication chart, so if you need to use that, go right ahead. All right, so now we're going to divide, and if you notice, the rules are exactly the same. So the same as yesterday. The same signs, the answer is going to be positive. Different signs, the answer is going to be negative. So right now, I know my answer is going to be negative because the signs are different. 24 divided by 6 is going to give me 4. So my answer is negative 4. Now this one is negative 15 divided by 3/10. So I just want to remind you that when we do that, you move the decimal one place over, and then you add the decimal up here. So in this hoopy, I'm going to put a 0. So I know that 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. I subtract and I get 0. But the problem is I still have a 0 before the decimal point. 3 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. Stop. So I get 50. And the signs are different, so I know I've got negative 50 as my answer. Okay, the last one. The last one is negative 4 divided by negative 20. So we have negative 4 divided by 20. So I'm going to have to add a decimal point, add a 0. Okay, 20 goes into 40 2 times. 2 times 20 is 40, and I get nothing left. So I get 2/10. I have 2 negatives, so it's going to be a positive. So negative 2/10 or positive 2/10 should be your answer. All right, we're going to divide us some fractions. So dividing fractions, you're going to keep, change, flip. So you're going to keep the first fraction, change to multiplication, and flip. If you have a different strategy, that is just fine. And then you multiply across like you normally would. Both of these are positive, so my answer is going to be positive. Okay, so I have 9 over 4 times 4 over 3. I end up with 36 over 12. Now I can reduce that. 12 goes into 36, or 36 divided by 12 is 3. So I have a negative and a positive, so my answer is going to be negative 3. Negative 5 divided by 3. So we're multiplying by 6 over 1. So we end up with 30 over 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. And we have different signs, so my answer is negative. The last one, negative 5 over 7 times 3 over 1. I end up with 15 over 7. This is an improper fraction, and it's not going to divide nicely. But I know 7 goes into 15 2 times. So that's 14, and then I have that 1 left over. So that's 2 and 1/7. And I have 2 negatives, so that means this is going to be a positive answer. 2 and 1/7. All right, I'm going to keep multiplying or dividing with my integers, okay? So, or with my positive and negative numbers. So 4 times 6 is 24. A negative times a negative is going to be a positive, because when the signs are the same, the answer is positive. So I have 24 over 1 times 7 over 6. So 24 times 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 2 is 16. So I get 168 divided by 6. Yikes. So on top of everything, I get to do some long division. Woohoo! So 168 divided by 6. 6 goes into 16 2 times, and I'm left with 12. So I have 48. 6 goes into 48. 6 times 8 is 48. So I'm left with 28. Okay, so I have 28, and both of them are negative, so 28 is going to be a positive answer. Because when the signs are the same, the answer is positive. So now this one says 4 divided by negative 6. That means 4 divided by 6. So I'm going to have to add a decimal and a 0. So 6 goes into 40. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. So I end up with 36, add a 0, 6, and I'm going to keep having this happen. So it's going to be 0.6 repeating, right? And the signs are different, so I'm going to have a negative. So it's negative 0.6 repeating. All right, the last one. So we have 4 over 3 divided by 24 over 1. I'm rewriting it just to make it easier for you to see the keep, change, flip. So 4 over 3 times 1 over 24. So that leaves me with 4 over 24 times 3, 72. So I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to divide by 2, and I get 2 over 36, which can then be reduced again to 1 over 18. Now I have one negative number, so my answer is going to be negative. So I have negative 1/18. All right, so positive or negative. So I want you to think what's happening. The sign of a positive number, so it's positive, divided by a positive is always a positive. A positive divided by a negative is always going to be a negative because the signs are different. A negative divided by a positive, the signs are different, so that means it's going to be a negative. A negative divided by a negative, so a negative divided by a negative is always going to be a positive because the signs are the same. All right, so from here, you are going to tell me if the solution is going to be positive or negative. You only get one attempt at this cool down, so make sure you take your time. There are going to be no resets. Don't tell me that you clicked the wrong one or whatever, because there's only one right answer. So it's not like I can make it, otherwise I can't do that. So it's one shot. All right, so extra practice, you can find it on Khan Academy, and I would strongly suggest you do some extra practice if you need it. Remember that school is 7 hours a day when you're here. So the 45-minute lesson that I'm giving you is not all of what I would be giving you if you were in class every day. So kind of keep that in mind. Mr. Morgan's help video is available. Email a study buddy, and then set up an appointment on Calendly if you're really not understanding and you need some extra help. I do tutoring on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.